Hi, how's everyone doing today? My name is Ty Boyer. It's my co-host Ty Bean, Joe Germani. We're the boys, and this is our weekly podcast we do for NGSC Sports called Bet with the Boys. We go through our weekly picks of all NFL spreads, go through every game with over-under or with the spread. It's fourth week doing this, guys. I think we're getting a hang of it, How we actually got some winners last week. We did pretty well. We cashed out. How'd you do last week, Joe?
Not the best.
Not the best.
It
happens. Real quick, though, before we get into our weekly breakdown, let's give a quick shout out to our other shows at NGSC Sports. On Tuesdays, we have our weekly sports podcast. It's just a weekly breakdown of anything going on in sports. It's featuring myself, Ralph Garcia, and Shakan Krowski. Check that out every Tuesday night at 8:30. And on Wednesdays, Ralph Garcia is doing his Politico show. It's called Attack on the Politicos. On Thursdays, we have 3 Count Thursdays, which is a wrestling podcast every Thursday. Check it out. On Fridays, it's Bet with the Boys. Here we are. And on Saturdays, we do In the Batter's Box, which is also featuring Ralph Garcia. He goes through our weekly baseball podcast, talking about all the games and everything going on in MLB. So, real quick, though, last week it was a very interesting week for the boys. If you guys tuned in last week, me and Ty were tied for the lead. Joe was a few games back. So far this week, at the bottom, once again, Joe Germani finished with only 4 points this week. He went 3-7 against the spread, 1-2 against the over-unders, 30%. Not the best week. It was a tough week. There's a lot of games that were just on the half-point line. So we're not going to give Joe too much crap for it, but we expect better, Joe. That's all we're going to say. We expect better.
We all do.
Second place this week is myself. I didn't have the best week. I only had 6 points. I went 2-3 against the spread, 4-4 on the over-unders. I'm a little over-under heavy this week. Got 46% for the week. And, you always want above 50%, but it's okay. And the big winner this week had himself a good killed the against the spread. Only one over-under. You went 0-1. Yeah. But 8-4 against the spread. Yeah. Ty Bean, 64%. Got himself 8 points this week. He is the leader of the week, and Ty's the leader for the season right now with 24 points. With a record of 22-15 this year against the spread, 2-4 on the over-unders, 56% overall. Yeah. Stay away from the over-unders.
Had a solid week last week. Gina also has 1,000%.
Gina does have 1,000%. We'll get to Gina. Shout out to Gina. And right now in second place, I have 22 points. I'm 2 points behind, 12-11 against the spread. 10-10 on the over-under, 51% overall. Flip a coin with me right now. You never know what I'm going to give you. And Joe, he has 17 points. He's Ty's got a little lead up on you. He's up 7 games on you right now. You're 8-16 against the spread, 9-10 overall versus over-unders, and 32% so far this year. So Joe's got a little ground to catch up, but that's our weekly standings right now. Ty gets his second win in a row in first place for the year.
Feels good.
Second, Joe's trailing right now, but he's on his way. But this week, we've been doing segments called How I Lost My Card, Line Pushers, telling you about all the bad beats we've had. Well, this week, we got a new segment. It's called We Got Winners. Because me and my man Ty, we cashed out this week. We put our minds together. We found the games that we needed, and we put it together and won some cards. And as Ty mentioned earlier, Gina, his girlfriend, is 1,000%. We actually filled out a Gina card, which she never done this before. She's never bet sports. She has no idea what's going on with the spreads.
Doesn't watch football.
No
clue. Told her, pick the names you like.
She put down $10. And this week, she put down the Jets plus half a point. Had them all the way. They won by 3 against the Browns on the road. Solid pick. Colts minus 1.5. Terry got it done in overtime. It was a sweat to sweat one out. It looked good all the way until the end. The Colts had to let the Niners come all the way back in that one. Blew the over-under in that game, too, by the way. Cost me another card. Not the point, but and then lastly, I was stuck on a card. I was like, Gina, who do you like here? I said, give me a name. I had the Jets and the Colts on my card as well, and Ty took the Jets and the Colts as well. And she said she liked the Chargers plus 3.5, and Gina was right.
Gina's right.
Put that down for $10, cashed out for $65. Yeah. Nice easy winner. Shout out to Gina.
Sure.
But we're not done there.
Yeah. Yeah.
What other cards do you have this week, Ty?
I also hit with the Bengals under, the Dolphins under, and my lock of the week, the Jets last week. And then I got one more. I got the Chargers plus 3.5, the Packers plus 2.5, and then the Chiefs minus 1.5. On that,
Very
cashed out, got about 200 this week.
200. Attaboy. I also had another 3-team parlay card that hit this week. About like 3:30, my cards were looking iffy. The Chargers were losing, and I was like, I'm not gonna get any winners this week. So I went and filled out a 4:00 card. I was very content on taking the Packers over and the Seahawks. I didn't know my third team. I left thinking I was taking the Ravens under. I saw one of my boys at the Fairfield News picking the games. He told me I like the Ravens. I went with the Ravens, and the Ravens won big. So I cashed out for 120 on that card right there. And I had a 17 teaser, which is very interesting. It didn't look good at all. I had the first 16 games were actually pretty solid. No real worry. Took the Chargers 9.5, the Bills over 33, the Jets 6.5, under 47 in Miami, over 47.5 in the Dallas Green Bay game, Seahawks plus 6.5, all covered easily. My last team on this card was the Lions plus 3.5. And if anyone watched this game, you know they were down 17 in the middle of the third quarter. And I was screaming for the backdoor cover right then and there. I was like, it's coming. Like, I need those 2 touchdowns. And next thing you know, Matt Stafford got one early in the fourth quarter. They got another stop. They scored a touchdown with about 4 minutes left and actually had a chance to win the game still. But they didn't get it done. But Cam Newton iced the game out. They won by 3. I'll take the Lions plus 3.5. And I cashed out for another 100 for a grand total of 295 this week. So the boys brought in about 500 this week. So I'll take that.
Looking good.
And George Costa just commented, show that post. He is the one who actually gave me the Ravens pick this week. So shout out to you, George. Appreciate that.
See you, George.
I'm sure George got some winners this week too. He's always cashing out. But yeah, so that is we got winners. Very exciting week. Not all sad and depressing losses this week. Me and Ty got it done.
Got it done.
Expect more of the same. All right. So after that, let's get right into week 6. The season's flying now. Week 6. This is our 4th week here doing this. First game we got up on the cards. Remind you guys, we go off these lines the Delaware Sports Lottery gives us. I know they change throughout time, but this is the lines we got them out on Wednesday. And so first game's up. We got the Texans minus 9.5 at home against the Browns. Texans last week lost at home on Sunday Night Football to the Chiefs. My great outing defensively. They lost J.J. Watt and Whitney Marcellus, which is 2 huge losses for 2 huge pass rushers they have. I don't know. What do you think about the Texans this week? What do you expect?
I expect Deshaun Watson to get it done here. 9.5 is a lot of points, especially for Deshaun Watson, but we are talking about the Cleveland Browns right now. So I think that's as long as we don't forget that, we'll be okay. I think that Deshaun Kaiser, we saw we weren't sure really how he was going to do, and then he gets benched last week after he threw a pick or 2 in the first half or something like that. 2 picks,
both in the red zone.
Both 2 red zone picks. So his efficiency's off the charts right now. So they have to bring in Kevin Hogan. He does his thing. He throws a couple touchdown passes, but honestly, I really think even with the Texans losing those 2 big pieces in J.J. Watt and Whitney Marcellus, I still think they can win here by 9.5. I think that the offense is explosive. I think their running game is solid enough. They can run through the Cleveland offense. I think they're going to dominate this game, and really, they're going to win by way more than 9.5. That's what I think.
What do you think, Ty?
I like the Texans minus 9.5 here. Just looking at the Texans, they probably have the best receiving core in the NFL, probably up there. With Will Fuller coming back, it's really just changed the offense. They're just putting up 40, 50 points a game like it's nothing. So I like the Texans minus 9.5, even though J.J. Watt and Whitney Marcellus are hurt. Browns they're not a good football team. Like we've been saying, probably going to go 0-16. I expect the Texans to blow them out here.
Yeah, I'm with you guys on the Texans. I like the Texans this week, but I think 9.5 is a lot of points. Your boy Kevin Hogan starting this week. He looked okay last week. He got the Browns right into the game, scored 2 touchdowns, doubled any offense that Kaiser did. Real quick, there's some stats I saw online. Is the Browns are 0-3, the last against the spread against Houston. They're 2-11-1 against the spread when they're getting 12 points or less. The under in the past the under has hit 7 of the past 9 times against the Browns and the Texans. The Browns are 5th overall in defense. I don't know. I think the spread at 47.5 is too much, and I'm thinking the under here is a real solid pick. 9.5 is a lot of points, so I'm going with the under 47.5 here. Play it safe. Okay. Well, that means next up we got another big spread here at 9.5. The Patriots on the road against the Jets. Start you off here, Joe. What do you think about the Patriots?
Honestly, I've been back and forth on this. I have right now on my picks. Right now, I have the Jets plus 9.5 because I'm looking at the Patriots offense. We're worse in passing offense. This is, as you can see, like the Patriots, they just have been kind of imploding on defense, and the Jets always play the Patriots tough usually. So in the first game of the season, like I think last year they finished like 22-17, and that team won the Super Bowl last year. And they gave up 17 points to the Jets. So as much as it kills me, I think I'm gonna have to take the Jets plus 9.5 here at home.
The Jets plus. Well, I'm disagreeing with you. I think the Pats ranked number 1 in all total offense right now, and in passing offense. They're ranked 32nd in passing defense, but I'm not really worried about the Jets passing offense right now. Robbie Anderson and Jermaine Kearse, they're not 2 real threats you got to worry about. I think they're going to get pressure to McCown, and I don't see how the Patriots can't blow them out. The Jets are 3-2, but they're not a very good 3-2 team. They beat 3 of the worst teams in football, and I'm not sold on them. I think they're hot right now. I think the only reason why this game isn't 2 touchdown spread is because the Jets have looked good recently, but I think the Patriots get it together and they steamroll the Jets on the road 9.5.
Yeah, I don't know. This year I became the biggest Jets supporter there quite possibly has been. I had them down as the Jets, but Todd made a lot of good points, and I'm switching that. I like the Patriots minus 9.5 now. Makes a lot more sense. The Jets are going to fold eventually, and it's just going to happen this week. Yeah, they're not as good as they've been playing.
Yeah, they're not a first place team. They're tied for first place. The Patriots, they've been hearing the jokes all week. That's got to get to Brady. He's pissed. They stomped the Jets last year when they played them against the spread. They won 41-3, I believe.
That was at the end of the season.
Yeah, the end of the season last year. So I think we see more of the same for the Pats this week, but.
I don't know. I mean, you look at the spreads they've had this year. The Pats with those big spreads. They had 13.5 at home against Houston, blew that spread. What was the other big spread? They had another big spread this week. I think or a few weeks ago. I think it was like 8.5 or 9. Didn't cover that spread either. So it's a lot of points. It is the Jets, but it is a lot of points. So
the difference is they're playing the Jets.
They are, but it's a divisional game. It might be close. Who knows?
We'll see.
I don't.
Next up, we got a lot of big spreads in this week. Another one is the Falcons minus 11.5 at home against the Dolphins. The over-under this one's 46.5. I'll start with this one. I think the Dolphins are ranked 31st in net yards. The Falcons are ranked first. Falcons are 6-1-1 the last 8 against the spread versus Miami. Miami is ranked last in total offense, last in passing, second to worst in run defense. It's just they've done terrible this year, basically on both sides of the ball. And they're also ranked 22nd against the pass, and I think Matt Ryan and Julio Jones are going to have himself a day. And so I'm going with the Falcons at 11.5. I think they're one of the better teams in football going against one of the worst teams in football at home. And bad matchup to me. I'm taking the Falcons all day.
Yeah, I agree. I like the Falcons minus 11.5 here. It just makes a lot of sense. Yeah. That's all I have to say. Jay Cutler has not looked anything like Jay Cutler.
Threw for under 100 yards last week.
And Jay Cutler's below average quarterback when he's playing. You see Jay Cutler ability.
Or you see the peak Jay Cutler. It's still not good.
This is 30 yards a game, Jay Cutler. So I like the Falcons. I think they might blow him out. It's going to be huge. Yeah, big game for the Falcons.
Yeah, I'm with these guys. I feel like this is going to be the blowout like this week. I mean, you look at just the Falcons, which is so many offensive weapons. I mean, like they struggled a little bit last week when they lost Julio. But, I mean, if you look at it like the Jets and the Dolphins, their defense is bad. Like they're going to give up yards to anyone, no matter who it is. They're going to give up. Their run defense, like Ty said, isn't good. You got Devontae Freeman and Tevin Coleman who can run out of the backfield and catch passes. So I really think this game's going to be a very one-sided game. I'm taking the Falcons plus 12.5 or minus 12
The Falcons.
or 11.5. It's 12.5 in real life.
And the over under 46.5. I think that's probably too high, but
Yeah, I got the under down for one of them.
yeah, but if the Falcons are gonna be the bulk of that over under, so it depends how much you think they're gonna win by. If you like the over in that one, but that's gonna be a very interesting game. Next up, another game I'm intrigued to see, which the line kind of surprised me here, and the Saints minus 5.5 at home against the Lions. The over under is 50.5. What do you guys think about this one?
It's a tough spread. Honestly, I'm taking the. I think I might take the Saints here minus 5.5. I think that the Lions look bad last week. I mean, like they're off. I mean, their defense gave up a lot of points to Cam Newton. I mean, Cam Newton didn't look that great against the Eagles last night. I think they're going to give up. I think they gave up way too many points. I'm not sure if I'm sold on like Matt Stafford in this offense. Like they look like they were solid. They look like they were rolling the first few weeks, but they just couldn't keep it together. The Saints coming off a bye. I think that they're going to have a big game. I'd also take the over at 50.5 in this game too as well. I think this game's definitely going over. But my pick here is the Saints minus 5.5.
I'm with Joe on this one. I have the Saints as well. I was actually leaning towards the Lions all week. They opened at 4.5, I believe. They went up to 5.5. And I was like, wow, I really like the Lions. I did some homework, did some research, and the Saints are 5-0 against the spread coming off a bye. Sean Payton and Drew Brees, they're going to be prepared. They know what they're doing. They know what to expect from this Lions team. And another stat that I saw, which is off like a bigger, longer period of time, in the past 60 games, the Lions have been underdogs by 4 points or more. They're 6-54 against the spread. So it's just a stat that caught my eye. And, I really think with the trading of Adrian Peterson, I think Alvin Kamara is going to break free a little bit. They're going to give him more touches, more opportunities. And I think it's his time to break out. He's probably going to be the number one back there. They still have Mark Ingram. And Drew Brees is going to find his guys. Michael Thomas is starting to get going. Like you're seeing Willie Snead just back from suspension. So we'll see how he works into the offense. But I'm going with the Saints here. I think the Lions, they're so inconsistent. You just don't know what we're going to get from them on a week-to-week basis. So I'll take the Saints here.
Yeah, like Ty was saying, the Lions have been really inconsistent. They've been pretty much the only team I haven't been able to figure it out. And I was leaning towards the Saints minus 5.5, and I've been wrong every week. So I'm switching it. I'm going Lions plus 5.5. I think they just pull it out some way. I'm just going to go with it. Let's go Lions.
Sometimes there's the picks that are right. Sometimes, honestly,
Yeah,
you never know.
I think Matt Stafford he didn't play well last week. He's coming off the ankle injury. He's just going to bounce back this week against a really, really bad Saints defense.
I agree with you guys on this one. Next game up, it's going to be a good one, I think, too. There's a couple really intriguing matchups. Packers minus 3.5 at the Vikings. Over under on this one's 46.5. What are you guys leaning towards here?
I like the Packers minus 3.5. I mean, saw what Aaron Rodgers could do last week. Just come down the field with a minute left. That's just too much time for the man. And the Vikings, they almost lost to the Bears with Mitch playing his first game, and I really didn't see much out of them that I liked. And I just think they're really due. They've been playing very well, and they're just due for a big loss here. And I think the Packers are just going to put up a ton of points on the Vikings.
Yeah, initially I like the Packers, but another stat I read is the Vikings are 8-2 against the spread coming off a home loss, and the Packers are 1-4 against the spread coming off a road win. Packers on the road here. These are two good defenses, ranked 7th and 11th respectively. The Packers are struggling in the running game, and no Dalvin Cook, so the Vikings' key target to try to expose the Packers defense is not there. They rely on Jerick McKinnon and Latavius Murray. So I don't see a ton of offense here, which is making me go to the under 46.5. That's pretty high. I think the Vikings defense is solid. They're going to get some pressure. They always get pressure on Rodgers, make his life difficult. So, yeah, I'm going under 46.5 here because I'm leaning towards the Vikings, but I think the Packers are a better team. So I'm just going with the under to play it safe.
I was with Ty. I was flip-flopping back and forth this morning, like trying to figure out the Packers or the Vikings, but I think I'm going to take the Packers minus 3.5. I think this week is the week that we see how big of an impact Dalvin Cook really had on this offense. I think when you're playing Aaron Rodgers, even though it's a divisional matchup, you're going to have to score some points. And this Vikings defense is going to be able to hold them. But if they're out there on the field for like more than half the game, like a lot of time of possession for Aaron Rodgers, he's going to pick them apart eventually. So I'm taking the Packers minus 3.5 here. I think there's just way more offense here. You got Case Keenum on the other side, and if I bet, I'm taking Aaron Rodgers over Case Keenum to score some points. So I'm taking the Packers minus 3.5.
It's a pretty solid pick. I don't know. That's this game you gotta just go tune in and see.
I kind of like the over. I don't know. I feel like but if there's going to be a week where Aaron Rodgers gets shut down, like it's going to have to be this week.
46.5. It's a
Well,
little
it is a lot of points. I think more like 43.
I'll rock with the under. But next game up is Ravens minus 6.5. Home against the Bears. Over under this one's only 39.5. And this game, I really wanted to take the under. I was like, this just sounds like an under game all over. Bears, Ravens, like two offenses that are iffy at best, two pretty solid defenses, but 39.5 is a little low. And I could feel a little late touchdown coming from either way because I feel like this game's going to be relatively close. The Bears' defense is ranked 6th, 8th in the pass, 13th against the run. The Ravens' offense is ranked 28th, 31st against the pass. They are at the 6th best rushing defense, but no Terrence West this week, so it's going to be a lot of Buck Allen. I'm not sold on Buck Allen. I don't think he's that great. He's just an average running back. So I think Mitch keeps it close, I like the Bears 6.5. The Bears have played tough this year. They beat the Steelers. They played the Falcons tough. They had a game against the Bucs. They got blown out. That's about the one game they got blown out in. But even that game, it was more of just a lot of turnovers on offense. They defensively had no position to do anything. Then they had 4 touchdown drives that were on the other side of the 50. So I think the Bears defense is going to get it done. I think like them at 6.5 here. What do you think, Joe?
Yeah, I'm with Ty. I'm taking the Bears plus 6.5 here. I haven't seen nearly enough from this Ravens offense. I think Joe Flacco hasn't looked great this year so far. I mean, that game last week against the Raiders, not a really great game. That Raiders team without Derek Carr, we really saw like how bad that defense is, and they really couldn't score. But I think, like Ty said, they got 2 good defenses going at it here. So I think this game's going to be relatively close. So I think I'm taking the Bears plus 6.5 within a touchdown. I think they have a chance to win this game outright with Mitch. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I like the Bears here plus 6.5 as well. I just think the Ravens, I don't know what's going on with them and their offense. It's just hit or miss every week. They're either on or not. And I think Bears defense is good enough to just shut them down this week. And like Ty was saying, Buck Allen he's a jag, just another guy.
Yeah, just a guy.
Just another guy. And then you got Alex Collins too. Like nothing to be too worried about. And I think Bears winning here. And they get 6.5. So I like the Bears.
Absolutely. Yeah, the Ravens, man. Because last week they looked good. They were also playing a trash Raiders defense.
Yeah.
At second, like you saw Macklin just getting plays. That defensive touchdown too. I think last week was kind of fluky.
Mm-hmm.
Just caught him off guard, but hey, we'll see.
Some Joe Flacco picks this weekend. You know for those picks. I see maybe 1 or 2 this week.
Last game we'll take before the break. My guys. The Redskins coming off a bye, minus 9.5 at home against the 49ers. The over-under in this one's 46.5. Let you guys start out.
Well, I put down for my lock of the week is the Redskins.
Can't spoil it.
Oh, my bad.
Sorry.
Well, now you guys know. I took the Redskins minus 9.5. And I just think the Redskins are going to blow out the 49ers. This is the first time they're going to have Jordan Reed back, fully healthy. I like the Redskins. Ty?
Yeah, I'm big on the Redskins this week, too. The Skins, they're a very consistent team. They're ranked 9th in defense, 8th in offense. They're coming off the bye, so they're prepared for this team for a long time, for about a week and a half now. The Niners, 26th in passing defense. So with no Josh Norman, it's not that big of a factor. They don't have very many weapons either. And I just think that the Skins offense get it together. I see us winning this one about 24-7, 35-10. I just see a big offensive game. Jordan Reed's healthy, so look for him to break out. Terrell Pryor, he had a good game against the Chiefs, so we'll see how he responds with that. And I like to see Josh Doxson get involved more in the offense. So it's all about the Redskins getting healthy, and they had the perfect time for the bye week. Hopefully we'll see a healthy Jameson Crowder too. So, yeah, but 9.5 against an 0-5 team. I think the Skins roll this one. So the Skins 9.5 here.
Yeah, I'm with Ty and Ty here. I'm taking the Skins minus 9.5. You look at the 49ers, their offense just really hasn't been great. Like they haven't been able to figure out their running back situation with Carlos Hyde and Matt Correa. I think they've given up a lot of points. I think the Skins off a bye, like Ty said, they definitely needed this bye this week. I think 9.5 is honestly it's a little too low even for me. I think they're going to win by probably at least 2 touchdowns. See what Kirk's got this week.
I'm big on the Skins, baby. So if we take a little break here, get into our next segment. The segment we've been doing every week is called Saturday are for the Boys in College Football. What we've been doing is my man Ty Bean to the right of me. He has 3 solid locks each week. He goes in, he gives you his reasoning why, and he's usually right. Last week, me and Joe mixed in an extra pick. I got my pick right with Penn State. They 13.5 against Northwestern. They look good. Shaquan didn't go off 200 like I predicted. He had a decent game. A terrible first half. Got to go in a little bit second. Joe, I believe, picked USC minus 28.5.
No, it was minus 33. They finished this awful game. Absolutely awful. I was watching that game, and, like, the spread's 33, right? So I'm watching this game. I'm like, all right, you know what? Like, there's a good chance they can win this game. They put up 30. I think they finished at, 38? I want to say 38-10. I think USC has the ball left with, 45 seconds in the red zone, right? So a touchdown would put this game would make me right. They would cover the spread, but no.
Why would they score a touchdown?
I don't know.
They're up 28.
I don't know. They had the ball at the 10. I was with 2 minutes, a minute left or something. I was like, you know what? Maybe Sam Darnold's going to pad his stats here, throw this other touchdown, cover the spread for me, but it didn't happen. They came close, but not the best pick in the world. Besides, USC doesn't really blow teams out. That's what I'm starting to see. Too bad.
Ty, though, last week, he went 2 for 3. He had Temple minus 2 against ECU. They blew him out. It looked good. Bama, I think, was minus 23.5 against Texas A&M. They only won by 8, which is kind of bizarre. Texas A&M made it close at the end. And then he had Washington State minus 2 against Oregon. They had a big dub. So 2 for 3. You're now 4 for 9 since we started this. So this week is the week to put you over 500. We need some winners, Ty. What are we rolling with this week?
I like Alabama against Arkansas minus 31.5. Alabama did not play last week, and just think Nick Saban's gonna get after them this week. And they're gonna shut them out probably. That seems to be doing that. And then team I predicted to lose 2 weeks ago, but now I'm on.
You're rowing.
I'm on the boat now. I like the Dogs minus 29.5 against Missouri. And then I also like Stanford minus 10 against Oregon. I think Bryce Love goes off for a big day against Oregon. And those are my 3 locks.
3 locks. Let's see. I like the picks here. I give you another side pick. I'm hot, so I'll stay hot. Oklahoma minus 9 against Texas on the road. Oklahoma lost last week. I think they're coming out with a statement game, rivalry game against Texas. I think they're going out there and trying to whoop up on them. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Oklahoma just bully them, keep scoring, and don't stop, because now that they need to make up games. They need to win with proving a point, because now that they lost the game, try to get in the playoffs. So, yeah, I like Oklahoma minus 9 this week.
Yeah, Ty kind of took my pick there with that Georgia pick. I've been high on Georgia all week. I've been talking about this pick, and he kind of stole it from me. I'm kind of a little upset about that. I'm not gonna lie. I looked at the numbers, and Missouri's they're 1-4 right now. Their only win is to Missouri State, which is not a great team, and they've gotten blown out every single week since then. I think they've lost by 30, 40 against teams, and Georgia's the best team they're gonna play. So I like Georgia, but I guess I can't take that one. So I'm gonna take UCF minus, I think it's 31.5 or something against ECU. We got 36. UCF minus 36 against ECU. I'm betting against ECU.
That's a Ty Bean game written all over it.
That seems like Ty loves to bet against ECU. It's worked so far.
I loves betting with USF.
I'm gonna do it. ECU is really bad. He is right about that.
There is your Saturday for the boys in college football. Tune in tomorrow. Watch some college football. Got 4 winners right there for you. 5 winners. So, yeah, there we go. Let's get right back into, week 6 football. A couple 4 o'clock games here. We got the Jags minus 2.5 at home against the Rams. Over under in this one's 42.5. What do you guys think on this one?
I'm going Jags here. Minus 2.5. I think that last week, I think a lot of people are high on the Jags right now, especially after that win on the road last week at Pittsburgh. But I think their defense has just shown that they're solid. You can't they're they're like locked down. They've got some lockdown corners. They've got pass rush. They've got everything you need. I think Jared Goff has looked good throughout this year. Didn't look so good against the Seahawks. Got my lock wrong, but Todd Gurley didn't decide. He wanted to fumble a couple times, and some things go one way or another. Maybe that game ends up a little differently, but I got that one wrong last week. But I'm going with the Jags here, -2.5 against the Rams. I think they're going to give them some problems.
See, I kind of like the Rams this week. I think the Jags had a good game last week, but they're inconsistent. Blake Bortles looked awful. Still only had 95 yards. So it was all that defense that really showed up. And there's a couple of things I saw looking at some numbers is the Jags have gone over 5 of their last 7 games. The Rams have gone 6 of their last 9. The Rams are rated 5th total offense. They've scored 30 points, at least 35 points 3 different times. The Jags have the number 1 rushing offense, and the Rams are rated 28th against the run. So I just see some offense here, actually, for once, and I think the Rams defense isn't what we came to expect it to be this year, and they can definitely score some points. Todd Gurley's playing great. Jared Goff's looking serviceable. So at a pretty low spread, too, 42.5, I'm taking the over in this one. How about you, Ty?
I like the Rams +2.5 here. The Jaguars are very inconsistent every week, and I just think it's one of those. I would take the guaranteed offense. I just know the Rams always are going to put up points, and they have one of the best young coaches in the NFL right now with Sean McVay, yeah. And the Rams defense is just as good as equally not like tied with the Jaguars defense. But the Rams have better offense, and they're getting 2.5 points here. I like the Rams. I just think they have a better offense. They're going to be able to put up more points.
Really, you think the Jags and the Rams defense are like similar?
I mean, since they got Wade Phillips, you got Aaron Donald on that defensive line with Tremaine Johnson as a corner. Yeah, I like the Rams.
Yeah,
That's true.
I did like the Rams this week. I just think the over is a safer play. I think there's going to be a lot of points. The Rams could go for 40 themselves. They've done it like almost 3 times already. So, hey, let's see. Next up, you got the Bucs -2.5 at the Cardinals. Over under in this one's 44.5. Any opinion? This one is kind of making me. It seems like an obvious one, but I feel like the Cardinals are here to trap. The Bucs have the 6th rated offense right now. Jameis Winston's look good. He's got weapons around him, and he's using them. Mike Evans had a nice start to the year. He's finding Deshaun. And it's only a matter of time before you see these rookies start to get going with O.J. Howard and Chris Godwin. And so the Cardinals, they looked atrocious last week. They couldn't get anything going on offense against the Eagles. The Birds really whooped up on them. And the Bucs, they've struggled defensively this year, which is kind of a surprise because everyone was very high on them this year. They had to sign Chris Baker. They already got Gerald McCoy. So their front line, defensive interior line, should be great. It just hasn't played out as well as they expected this year. I think they get it together. The Cardinals are ranked last in rushing right now. And I think the Bucs go on the road and they pull out a tough win against the Cardinals here, -2.5.
This is just like Ty said. This feels like kind of a trap game. Like the Cardinals, you saw what happened with the Cardinals last week. They didn't do so well, but honestly, I think the Bucs -2.5 is a safe pick here. But I think I'm going to take the over 44.5 in this one. I think there's going to be a lot of offense scored. Tampa Bay does not have a good secondary, so I think they're going to give up some points here to the Cardinals. I think it's going to go both ways, and obviously the Bucs are going to score on the Cardinals. So I'm going with the over 44.5 here.
Show the comment. NGSC Sports, they're rocking with the Bucs. What do you think, Ty?
I also like the Bucs -2.5. I think it's you look at the Cards this week, and I think that's one of the teams that can stick out as like a pretty obvious team. I think the Bucs get the win. They really need this win for them.
2-2.
And the Cardinals without David Johnson just isn't it. And I don't know, just 1 week. I don't think it's enough time for Peterson.
Less than a week.
Yeah, to know what's going on with the Cardinals. He's gonna take some time.
I think he is gonna play.
Yeah, he's gonna play.
I think he is.
Didn't they trade him Tuesday?
Yeah.
But yeah, I like the Cardinals. I mean, not Cardinals. I don't like the Cardinals. I like the Bucs.
He's rocking with Carson this week. He's rocking with the different Carson.
I like Carson.
This is another really interesting matchup. I can't wait to watch this one. We got the Chiefs -4.5 at home against the Steelers. Over under this one's 45.5. Steelers looked awful last week. They feel like they're about to implode. Le'Veon Bell was complaining about not getting enough touches. You heard the incident with AB the week before. He was freaking out on the sidelines through the cooler. Big Ben this week threw 5 interceptions and said, "I don't know if I have it anymore." Like, these are all like terrifying things to hear from Steelers fans. But something tells me that it's going to be a close game. I don't know. I think the Steelers is the game the Steelers could steal from, and this is the game like they give it to Le'Veon. He's let them. They rock their defense rocks out. Big Ben doesn't make any turnovers. He's played power football, but I'm not sold on that. So I did my research, and the Chiefs' last 7 against the AFC North, they've been averaging a total of 30 points per game between both teams combined. Mm-hmm. And the Steelers are first in passing defense. They're 28th against the run, so you're going to see a lot of Kareem Hunt, which is going to be running the clock again. Alex Smith against a tough secondary. He's playing at MVP level. We'll see if he's got it still. And with all the uncertainty there on the Steelers' offense too, this just led me to the under 45.5. The playoff game last year, I feel like it's going to be a similar game to that. A similar spread too, and so I think under 45.5 is a safe play here.
I'm going with the Chiefs minus 4.5 here. I think we all saw last week that the Chiefs are by far the best team of football. I think on both sides of the football, they're the best. I think if they can get Kareem Hunt going, which they did against the Texans, which was difficult, I think come on, don't talk about the Eagles right now. I'm not talking about that right now. I'm taking the Chiefs minus 4.5. Huh?
I just said I don't think the Chiefs are the best team on both sides of the ball.
Give me one more team. The Eagles.
On defense, I'm saying I don't think they're the best team.
I mean, they're not the best defense, but I think as far as the football team goes, with both sides included, obviously that's not really what I meant. I didn't mean they have the best defense. I mean, like on both sides of the football, like combined, like they have good defense. They have
they're the best team in the league.
I think they're the best team in the league. That's kind of what I was going at, which everybody can obviously see because they're undefeated. But I think they're going to roll here. I think a lot of problems with Big Ben. He threw a lot of picks yesterday. 5 picks, first time ever in his career he threw 5 picks in a game. Chiefs are playing at home here, minus 4.5. I think you got to take it, minus 4.5. I think they can win by a touchdown easily.
I like the Chiefs minus 4.5. I think as long as Kareem Hunt is running the ball for the Chiefs, Alex Smith is going to be playing at an MVP level. It just makes the offense 10 times easier for him. It just opens everything up. And just having a reliable running back there for him just makes it – Alex Smith is just a game manager, basically. And with one of the best running backs, I just I like the Chiefs minus 4.5. So.
I don't know. I think this could be the game. The Chiefs are bound to lose eventually, man. I think this might be a game. But I'm not confident enough to take the Steelers. But I just think the Chiefs they're due. Definitely due. But next up is a game that does not actually have a spread on here yet. Derek Carr is expected to play. They're waiting to make the line official for him to officially play, put the line out. But I got a line at Raiders minus 3.5. There's no over-under yet. Derek Carr is coming back from the broken back. The Chargers are 1-8-1 against the spread the last 10. The Raiders are 5-2 against the spread at home. I think the Raiders are desperate for a win. They got their boy back. Even if he's not 100% healthy, it's still an improvement from EJ Manuel. I think the defense is going to bring it together at home again. They're at home again. They're playing for their season pretty much, so they can't fall behind. They're already 3 games behind the Chiefs right now. They can't fall behind 4, plus the Broncos, who are expected to go to 5-1 after this week. So this is a big win for the Raiders, and I think at 3.5, they're going to get it done. Derek Carr's back. I believe in it.
I like the Bolts plus 3.5.
The Bolts.
I heard Colin Coward say, or whatever.
Yeah, it's his name.
Colin, whatever his name is. He's on Fox. Yeah. Well, he was saying, just like, if you have an MVP, like a Hall of Fame quarterback, and he's getting points, you just take it. And I just feel like the Chargers, they need to win this game, and they can capitalize on the Raiders being hurt, having Derek Carr not going to be 100%. I just think the Chargers are going to be able to pull this out. Plus 3.5.
Yeah, I'm with Ty on this one. I'm taking the Chargers plus 3.5. I think they showed me a lot more last week against the team and the Giants, where they showed me that they could run the ball. Melvin Gordon finally had that breakout game that I needed in fantasy. Shout out to you, Melvin. But I'm taking the Chargers plus 3.5 as well because I think that this Raiders defense is bad. They gave up a lot of points. We give up a lot of points. Even if Derek Carr comes back, you got a divisional matchup here. I think it's probably going to be kind of close. So I'm taking the Chargers plus 3.5.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I don't know why. I'm just been riding out with the Raiders past couple weeks. They've looked like crap, but I still keep taking them.
Yeah,
I'm rocking with them again.
Derek Carr's that piece that definitely makes them better because you see how many drops Cooper's at right now. Cooper's dropping the ball a lot. Like the receivers, Marshawn.
I wouldn't worry about him. I wouldn't worry about him.
I mean,
he's
gonna not worry about him.
Look like Nelson Aguilar.
Marshawn Lynch, though. Can we talk about Marshawn Lynch for a sec? Like, he really hasn't had that big game or like that game where like we're like, wow, like this is why he's back to do this. So I don't know. Maybe he's not really the threat they thought he was. So
I mean, I think Marshawn's played about to what everyone expected him to be. Nothing spectacular, but he's been solid. He's been a bruiser. Still not going down easily. He's got a couple touchdowns, like average about 3 to 3.5, 4 yards a carry. He's been about what they expected, but they expected to be up in more games and him to be more impactful, like when they're winning. And it was kind of hard to use Marshawn when you're down all the time. But I think Marshawn's gonna be fine. I think he had another touchdown last week, about 60, 70 yards. So I like the Raiders this week, but we'll see what happens. Another AFC West team playing on Sunday Night Football. The Denver Broncos minus 12.5 at home against the Giants. Over under this one's 39.5. Oh boy.
this feels like the Broncos all the way, 100%. I think like this Giants team. I mean, they lost Odell, went down. Sterling Shepard, I don't think is going to play. Brandon Marshall might not play. They've got a lot of pieces. They've got who else they get suspended?
DRC quit on the team.
Yeah, DRC quit on the team like during the game. I don't know what was going on with that. Apparently he fought with a teammate or something like that, so they suspended him for a game. So you lose one of your best defensive players in a game that you really need him on the road. The Broncos have looked really good at home. The Giants are really bad against the run, and the Broncos have C.J. Anderson, who should be okay. I think that the Broncos also have I'm pretty sure they have the first best running defense, and they've got. And right now you're looking at the Giants backfield is like really clustered, like really like I'm not even sure who they're going to start.
Paul Perkins is out.
Paul Perkins is out. Like they got Omenyer or something. I don't even know what his name
He's
is.
banged up.
Yeah, he's banged up too.
But no team has been able to run on the Broncos.
That's very
so
true.
it really doesn't matter.
I'm just saying, like with the team with no real running backs, like I don't see how
Or
they're
wide
gonna
receivers now.
Yeah, I'm big on
nothing either way.
big on the Broncos this week too. The Broncos have covered 7 double-digit spreads since the start of last season, which is probably as most in the elite NFL so far. The Giants wide receivers right now, starting this week.
I'm ready for this.
You ready? On the active roster, Roger Lewis Jr. is the number 1 receiver.
She's right.
Tavares King, Travis Rudolph, and Ed Egon. That's the Giants who are bringing out that wide receiver this week. And we've already talked about how Broncos are like 3rd in rushing, and the Giants have any sense of running game. So it's going to be a bad game for the Giants. They're going to get whooped up on. The over-under on this one, 39.5. I wouldn't touch it just because you don't know how many the Broncos are going to blow them out by. So, yeah, the Broncos minus 11.5, and I feel pretty good about it.
Broncos minus 12.5 all day. just like what Tom just said, like it's pretty obvious. The Giants are not a good team. They were not a good team last year. I'm saying it all this year. They're looking a very real possibility going 0-16, or if not, getting like 1 or 2 wins at most. But this week they're not getting one win. So
Yeah, I think he's right. There's no way. I mean, like that defense, like especially like it hasn't been when it's lived up to. It's starting to crumple around them. I mean, Ben McAdoo, like I don't even think he has control of the locker room anymore. There's a lot of factors going on here in New York. So I personally don't see how they're going to cover the spread. I mean, they might score like less than 10 points. Like I'd be surprised if they scored over 10 points.
We'll see. I think that's just going to be bad football.
I hope that's not a trap.
It's going to be
game.
hard to watch. That's not a trap game.
I hope it's not a trap game.
I don't think it's a trap game.
You never know.
A trap game is when like they set the line like, wow, that's pretty low, and you think the other team's gonna win. That's a trap game.
See, I thought the spread should have been 2 touchdowns.
It's not a trap game.
I should have been.
They're not trying to trap anybody.
I think it should have been like 14.5 or something. 12.5 it's a weird number, by the way.
Last game, we got Monday Night Football. There's no spread out for this one yet, so I couldn't find one online either. So I said, you know what? We'll call it a pick 'em. Tennessee Titans. Marcus Mariota expected to play at home against the Colts. Call it a pick 'em here. By the way, the Colts have won 11 straight against the Titans and 10-1 against the spread. That initially makes you think, the Titans are due to get one. Like, that's doesn't make sense. And Andrew Luck was there for most of those games, which is the reason why the Colts dominated. Another stat that I saw is the Colts are 0-5 against the spread after a win. The Titans are 5-1 in their last 6 at home. And I think Mariota playing is a difference maker. I'm not sold on this Colts team. They're a below average team. The defense isn't great. Jacoby Brissett's played well, but the Titans defense is good enough, and I think they cause trouble as they force some turnovers. I think Mariota being back. I think DeMarco runs well. I like the Titans to win the game here.
Yeah, I'm taking the Titans and I pick them here. I think the Titans have struggled without Mariota, as we've seen, without that dual threat, like the throwing and running threat, like at quarterback. Like Matt Castle just really isn't getting it done for him. But I think if Mariota comes back and plays, like Todd said, even if he's not 100% healthy, I still think like that him being in the game is the difference maker for them winning. So if the Titans get Mariota back this week, I definitely take them. Even if this spread might finish at maybe -2, -3, maybe if Mariota comes back, like officially, maybe I don't know. I'm just guessing, speculating here, but
I couldn't find it.
At a pick 'em, I'm definitely taking the Titans.
Yeah, pick 'em, take Titans all day. Yeah,
especially at home too. Like even home field advantage is it's good enough for me.
I would say
Mark is going to figure it out too.
The Colts, if they want to try and keep this division alive before Andrew Luck comes back, this is a game that they really need to win because they got to stay ahead of the Titans. The Jags are leading the division right now. So this is a game the Colts need, but I think the Titans got it. I don't think the Colts are gonna be making any playoff pushes this year.
Yeah, I don't see Jacoby Brissett winning this game.
But all right, guys, that is Week 6 NFL football. That's our picks. That's our spread. We're picking the spread. I think we got some solid ones. I think I'm definitely getting my cowbell back next week. Maybe Joe can put one over 40% this week. See what happens.
We'll see.
Next up, before we get into our locks of the week, we do a segment we've been doing every week here is waiver wire winners, where my man Joe Germani will just break down the best free agent fantasy football signs that are available, most likely to guys to be available, and the impact he expects them to have coming up. So, Joe, what are your waiver wire winners for the week?
My waiver wire winners, if you guys have been paying attention, you guys saw that they upholded the Zeke suspension. So Zeke's going to be out 6 games, 6 actual games. So they got a bye coming up this week, and then they're going to have 6 games after that. So I think if you're looking for someone to pick up, I think you want to pick up Darren McFadden here. He's owned in 45.6% of leagues.
Alfred.
Also, I have Alfred Morris down here too at 40.3%. I think these two guys together are either one of them is going to be somebody you want, especially running behind that line. I think they're going to get you some yards, maybe a decent flex option. Maybe if you get a good matchup, you might want to start one or the other. But I think definitely I'll try to get either one if you can. Another running back I got here is one from the 49ers, Matt Breida, at 22.6% owned. Shout out Ty, he gave me the scoop on this one. Carlos Hyde hasn't been looking great. He was saying that he might lose his starting job. So if he does, Matt Breida, even on a bad team like the 49ers, you can still get some value out of somebody like Matt Breida. So
someone got to get the touches.
Yeah, someone's got to run the ball. Someone's got to get the points. So I'm going there. And my last waiver wire winner is Nelson Aguilar at 36.5% owned in leagues. He caught a touchdown last night. I honestly, Ty's been boosting it all week to me, but I mean, he has been averaging 10 points a game. So in PPR leagues, so if you do need somebody like at a flex option, maybe a wide receiver coming off, especially on one of the best teams in football right now, the Eagles, he's their number what, 3? Or is he number 3 wide receiver? But he's that deep threat that you need. That Carson's shown that he can hit him. He can hit him for these deep passes. You can get him the ball. So I definitely pick him up if he's available. Especially in 36% of leagues, like you'll probably be able to pick him up. Just look for his value to start increasing as time goes on.
Well, that is Joey's waiver wire winners. Nelson Aguilar. I don't know how I feel about him.
He can catch. I don't know. I guess
he can catch.
He's
He's pretty dangerous when he can catch. I'll give you that. So, hey,
not wrong at all.
Nelson Aguilar. I'm still not a believer.
That's some Birds. 5-1.
Birds did look good last night. Give him that as an impressive win on the road against Carolina.
It was a great one.
Birds on your top 5, and you're just hating right now.
Yeah, or just hating?
I would say that.
I was kind of hating. I thought the Panthers.
I was hating for a
I
while
thought the
too.
Panthers were gonna win last
I'm
night.
here.
We all know the Panthers were going to win.
Just wait till next Monday time. Next Monday.
It's a big game coming up, guys. Definitely look out for those picks. Those are gonna be some big picks. It's gonna probably get a little heated on the show. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Next week, Redskins Eagles. When the picks go down, we're gonna have like a 15-minute segment just on that.
I think we already know who's picking who, honestly.
All right. So that's waiver wire winners, though. Before another thing we're gonna give you guys is our Arc Boys locks of the week. Week 1, we went 3 for 5. Week 2, we went 2 for 5. Last week, we switched it up. We said we're always going to give our own one lock of the week. And last week, I picked the Packers over 52.5. I mean, Ty picked the Jets. And Joe stunk up the pick with the Rams. I don't know why he picked that. It wasn't even the fact that they lost. It was just the Rams.
You watched that game. They should have won that game.
They wouldn't have covered anyways.
That's true. They would have covered anyway. You know what? He's right about that. Can't argue with that.
So we went 2 for 3 last week. We're 7 for 13, 54% for our locks so far this year. But we got 3 locks this week. I'm feeling good about it. I feel 100%. We got big lines, too. We're not messing around. We're taking the favorites. First up, my man Ty Bean. His lock of the week is the Skins minus 9.5 at home against the Niners.
Start tuning fantasy and need a big day.
Joe, he went with the Broncos minus 12.5. He was big on the Broncos.
Oh yeah, definitely feels like the team that has the best chance to cover this huge spread this week is the Broncos.
Yeah, I'm liking the Broncos here too. And then my lock of the week that I'm very confident in is Joe didn't take this game. Me and Ty both did, but I got the Pats minus 9.5. I think going against the Jets.
I don't know what I'm
The
thinking.
Jets just aren't doing it for me. I think the Patriots look out for going out there for vengeance. They're trying to make a statement, and they're going to put the whooping up on the Jets. So I got the Jets minus 9.5, which makes us 3 locks. The Skins minus 9.5, the Broncos minus 12.5, and the Patriots minus 9.5. And we're actually going to put a card on this one. I couldn't do it last week because I just didn't believe in the Rams. I was like, I'm not wasting my money on the Rams. So, but this week we definitely got a card. We got to get some winners. I feel good about it. So that's our Arc Boy locks of the week. And that brings up our last segment, guys. We've been doing here. It's called What's on Our Mind. We just talk, chat about anything and anything other than NFL football. We just discuss what's going on in the world of sports. And so what's on my mind this week? I got a couple of things. It's the ALDS, NLDS finished up last night. The Cubs won 9-8 in Game 5. My World Series prediction is still looking good. I had the Cubs and the Astros. Looking like the Yankees pulled off one against the Indians. I think that was Joe's World Series prediction.
Well, the Indians. I think I took the Indians and the Cubs.
And the Indians to win it.
Yeah, so I'm already out. So.
Who'd you take, Ty? I took the Astros.
Astros and Dodgers.
Astros and Dodgers. They're both alive, so I think it's gonna be good. I'm excited to see what the Yankees got against the Astros. I think it's gonna be a tremendous series. I still though the 1-2 punch from for the Astros with Verlander and Keuchel is too much. I think it beats the Yankees. I think they'll probably win that one in 5 or 6. I think the Cubbies. They just know how to win in the playoff time. The Dodgers are always in the NLCS. They don't know how to win in the NLCS. I'm going with the Cubs. Yeah, I still stick by my Cubs Astros prediction. Anything else, you guys? Anything else on your mind you want to bring up?
Yep.
Carson Wentz is going to be your 2017 MVP.
Come on, don't throw that
That
stuff
is
out
all
here.
I have
It's been
to say.
5 weeks. Come on, man.
It's
We're
been
not-
6, and we're 5-1. He's playing like a
It's not been
stud. He's a
6
top.
weeks.
He's
This
a
is
top
week
5
6.
quarterback.
They played yesterday, Joe.
That's
They're
true.
5-1.
I forgot about that. They are 5-1. Whatever. I got the numbers wrong, but I don't know. It's too early to tell with this MVP stuff. We're not talking about it. What I do want to talk about is my boys, the Sixers. Joel Embiid made his debut, and it was fantastic.
Looked
If you
great.
guys were watching, it was amazing. He played 14 minutes, 22 points, 7 rebounds, shot 9 for 12 from the free throw line. Looked good. But my favorite part though, that did make the stat sheet, is the ball. So they're coming. I think they called a timeout, right? TJ comes up. Joel's in Steph range. He's probably like 2 feet behind the line. TJ gives him the pass. He just drains it. I was so surprised. I was like, how did he make that shot? Like,
He was a good 30 feet.
oh yeah, he was deep.
That was
Steph range.
Yeah,
Looked darn good.
I think. I'm excited. NBA starts on Tuesday.
So
Cavs.
excited.
Who's Cavs open with?
Celtics.
Cavs South. Is
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
No, I thought that was the last.
Yeah, I know it's Warriors Rockets on the opening night. They play
No,
10.
I thought Cavs Celtics was a home opener.
Nah.
I think that's the last preseason.
Who does the Cavs got on Tuesday? But yeah, the Warriors against the Rockets, though. It's an intriguing matchup. I think we're going to see what this Chris Paul is all about with the Rockets. And yeah, it is. Oh, look at that tie. I'm sorry, question time. It is the Celtics. That's another intriguing matchup. Kyrie versus LeBron, game 1.
So LeBron's questionable and probably might not play.
I think LeBron's going to play. If LeBron doesn't play, I'll lose watch. He's going to play. I mean, he better show up. He's got everything to prove against Kyrie. Like,
You just wait till IT comes back and prove it.
but the big story is what's going on Wednesday.
Big Sixers win.
Oh yeah.
On Wednesday,
First against the Wizards.
Me and the
Traveling to
boys,
Washington.
me and Joe, my boy Elliot, for Kai's birthday, we copped him a ticket to the Sixers game against the season opener against the Wizards. So we're going down to DC on Wednesday. We'll be tailgating, having a good old time. Let's go Sixers. Trust that process.
We getting that win.
So, and by the way, guys, we do this podcast for NGSC Sports, but we're gonna try and expand a little bit. We're trying to gather more of a market and get some crowd going. So we're gonna be downloading. We downloaded a new podcast system. So we have this microphone here, and we'll be posting all the podcasts on SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes. We're gonna be posting our videos on our YouTube page, Bet with the Boys. Looking for a Twitter page coming out this week. So big things happening. Trying to get things going.
Yeah, definitely interact with us. If you see us, you want to shoot us a question, you want to give us a topic or something we should talk about next week. Definitely shoot us something. We'll definitely bring it up in the show. We love when people comment.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out. I like to do this at the end. I like to shout out everybody who commented. Shout out George. A couple comments here. He liked the Ravens.
Shout out to my dad.
Yeah, shout out to his dad. Calling him out. He said kind of interesting. He said the Bears only play good defense at home.
I did see that. That is true. They had their best 2 games at home against the Steelers and the Falcons.
It's very true. See how they play on the road. Shout out NGSC Sports. We see you too, supporting us.
NGSC. But yeah. So, anything else you guys want to add though before we head out of here?
That's it.
That's it. All right. Well, I think it was another good show. Catch the boys back here next Friday, 2:00. Hopefully, we got some more winners for you. Cash out. Other than that, everyone here from NGSC Sports thanks you, and be sure to check out on Twitter, YouTube page, and social media accounts. Be on the lookout. Bet with the boys.
Bet with the boys. Peace.